Hello everybody and welcome! Today I'm going to demystify the intuitive abstract process and show you one way to fix your overworked art pieces. I want to start by clarifying that there's no correct way to start an abstract. Your process might be completely different from mine, and that's okay. The way I started this particular piece, although it's not the case with all my abstract pieces, is I thought about a place that inspired me. The marks I'm making are inspired by the architecture, the colors of day and night in this city. There were lots of roses and bare trees because it was early spring when we went there. Since I was choosing colors based on my memories of things, rather than going by a color scheme, in a little while I had a lot of kind of random colors that I didn't think were necessarily doing well with each other. So my tendency when I'm trying to unify a piece, at least as far as the color scheme, is I tend to go for complementary colors. So for example, I had a lot of pink with the rose abstraction, so I added in some green. And I have some orange and blue, some yellow and purple. And then I also wanted to add in some neutrals to balance out all the bright colors, so that's where we have the brown, and in a little while I'll start adding in gray tones. I think that setting out a color scheme before you embark on an abstract piece can be really helpful, because what I've noticed in my last couple of drawings is I don't start out with an idea and then I end up kind of having all colors, and that's fine, that's definitely a look, but it tends to be more chaotic for one thing, but also they might not be contributing very much to a feeling or something very unique about your piece. The reason why color and mood are so important in abstract is because obviously there isn't something to look at. It's going to be a lot of marks and shapes and colors and patterns maybe. Obviously every piece is different, but the way you choose your colors and the way you make your marks are especially important with this kind of art, because those are what make it, and that's what people are going to stay and look at. With this piece, I didn't really have any intentions to start out with, although I had an image in mind that inspired the initial marks I made. I would consider this piece to be a Zen abstract exercise. So I was being a little bit less careful in the beginning, less planning and so on, and I was more in the moment, reacting to mostly to the interesting textures that you can get with oil pastel. Since I didn't have a plan, I just kind of kept working on this and working on it and working on it. So you might have been wondering when you read the video's title, what does it mean when a piece is overworked? To me, it means you could have stopped and it could have been finished before, but you kept adding to it, and that ends up making it look maybe muddy or just very busy or not a clear focal point. This piece, I think, checked all of those boxes because I kept working on it. So we're not quite at that point yet, but I used my intuitive, non-planning piece to talk about this with you because it was an easy example to demonstrate with. As far as demystifying the intuitive abstract process, you can see me as I'm working here. I'm working on the whole piece at once. I'm moving around. I'm not developing certain areas as I go. Rather, I'll pick up a pencil as I feel like it, and I'll add it where I think I could use it. And right now in the video you can see me scratching the pencil over the oil pastel, which I really like doing because you can make an interesting texture on that. So yeah, I'm not planning, I'm just kind of looking and feeling at which areas I think could use more light or dark, or warm or cool. I think balance really comes into play, but it's not a very conscious process. Even though I guess, sure, I'm I'm feeling more than thinking about which color I'm going to use and where I'm going to put it, and how much and why and in what order. Creating intuitive art is a way to release your creativity, to relax, and it's always fun to see what comes out because it's different every time, and it's a great way to explore with a new medium and explore with different kinds of mark making and really expand your style, because the new things that you try out when you're working intuitively can inform your later practices for a more interesting result. I think the reason I overworked this piece was I kept trying to come to some kind of conclusion with the colors, and in my search for it I just kind of kept adding more and more, and part of that's because I didn't have a color scheme in the beginning, part of it's because I was just drawing using individual marks. Here's what I like to do. My favorite thing across all mediums, when you need to just rethink things or you need to kind of clear the page a little bit, is just to paint over it. Here I'm using acrylic paint, just I think Artist Loft stuff. It's pretty inexpensive. I'm using a translucent cool red shade. I chose that shade because, well, I knew that it was kind of translucent and I wanted the underdrawing to show through. And also I felt like that color was going to work well with the other colors that I have in there. Next, it currently looks white as I'm applying it, but it's a metallic pale blue. I chose that one for a similar reason because I knew it was relatively translucent. And I wanted a cool color to harmonize with the cool blue a little bit, and as you can see, the areas I'm painting over are more cool toned as well. And as far as how I'm choosing where to put the paint, that also is intuitive. I'm feeling it, and there really is no good way to explain what I mean when I say feel it. You just kind of have to pick up a pencil and decide not to think about it and make a mark and be okay with the result. That's all I know how to say. So here is my final piece, I suppose. I like it much better. I thought the metallic paint was an interesting touch because it looks different depending on the angle you see it from. So I probably should have done 2 different videos, one about intuitive abstract, which I touch on that in my previous video, and then a different one for responding to an overworked piece. But I thought I'd kind of do them both here to show you the process as a whole. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you liked it, and make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you know when my next video comes out, hopefully next Tuesday.